at Silverado Beverly Place, a memory care community. Today, the staff has arranged for African Soul International to perform for the second time during Black History Month. The group was here for the first time during Kwanzaa and have returned by popular demand. The biggest fan of the dance group is Julia Maples. Julia is a resident at Silverado and a lifelong educator. She's one of an estimated 5.7 million Americans suffering from some type of memory loss. And according to recent research published on Journal of the American Medical Association, Blacks in America are twice as likely to develop Alzheimer's disease compared to whites. As the older population in America grows and gets more diverse, the question of how to eliminate the race disparity hangs over the medical community.
I am Jeresha Alamayo, and this is my mother, Julia Maples.
Miss Julia Maples, you want to tell us a little bit about your life story, your accomplishments, your passion for music?
Huge passion for music. And I was lucky to play in the band for poquito.
For a little bit?
For that much.
But you went to school in New Orleans, the land of jazz.
Nolene.
Excuse me, Nolene. So my mom, just the most amazing woman, very dynamic lady. She's the oldest of 6 kids from New Orleans, Louisiana, born right as World War II was ending. So she grew up in the segregated South. She always knew that that wasn't for her. She doesn't talk about it the way I hear a lot of people in her age group talk about the South, but she just always felt like there was something else better out there for her. And music, I think, was her way out.
So when did you start noticing there was some memory loss that your mom was experiencing?
You know, when it slowly crept in, and none of us had any idea what this disease was even about. You know, people even pronounce it wrong in our community. They call it Alzheimer's, you know, so no one even knows what that is. And then for me, it was starting to repeat the same stories over and over. You know, at first, parents do that a lot, so you don't think anything of it. And then it was, you know, man, I heard that one before. But what really was alarming was one of her best friends at work. She called to let me know that she was having trouble getting to school in the morning. I knew that was a problem. This is the same school district, very small school district. They only have 2 high schools, and she's worked at both of them her entire career. And it's the same route from home. We've lived in the same place forever, and in the same vicinity for, you know, over 40 years. So to get lost going to work, that was a big red flag.
So for this next dance, we need all of the village to help us out. Can everyone say, ah, yeah? Ah, yeah.
Putting an elderly family member in a facility like Silverado is something any family would struggle with. But combining that with a community that shies away from discussing mental health issues doubles the pressure for Black caregivers. And for some families, the person they have to take care of is not an elderly family member at all.
My name is Kelly. I am the big sister of Glenn. Of course, he doesn't consider me a big sister because we're only 10 months apart, but I rub it in any chance I get. So he hates it when I say big sister. So I'm Glenn's sister, and I became his caregiver when he became sick, and his advocate as well. Glenn came into the world with, not that I was aware, but his baby picture, just big grin, big beautiful smile, very happy baby, very active baby, and he has been Bam Bam his whole life. So between Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, Altar Boy, football since he was 7, and he's a semi-pro player. So he played semi-pro ball with LAPD for 30 years. He started playing before he even became a police officer. And he's very proud of his championship ring, which he will show you anytime you get ready, anytime you're ready for him. He's a ladies' man, he's a father, and he's my brother, and my mom's favorite son. She always tells each of us, you know you're my favorite. I know he's a favorite, but it's okay. I can handle it. We noticed that he would forget to call. We realized he lost his dog. He forgot to pay bills. We realized he wasn't eating. He's forgetting to eat. But the main thing was he kept repeating himself. And then you have to listen to the stories he's telling. He's telling you the same story, or he's talking about someone else, or he's talking about himself in third person. That's what really was a red flag for the entire family. Because he would look at himself in the mirror and say, I don't know, who is that guy? So that was really scary.
Glenn wasn't the only person in Silverado whose memory loss issues arose from playing football. There was a Super Bowl champion in the building.
My name is Manfred Moore.
So you've been at Silverado for about 5 years now? Seems like
The total, yes.
total of 5 years.
Yes.
So tell us about your careers. I know you are been very accomplished, so tell us a little bit about that.
Well, you mean the football career?
Well, all of it.
Well, I played football at San Fernando High School, and I played, and it worked out well, and I got a scholarship.
The Oakland Raiders arrived at Super Bowl 11 on the threshold of greatness.
Manfred received a scholarship to play football at USC and went on to win the Super Bowl with the Raiders. As we started talking about his football career, Manfred needed a little bit of assistance remembering which team he played with.
The Raiders played against Minnesota Vikings, and you won the Super Bowl
Yeah.
with the Raiders,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So I believe you received a scholarship from USC to play football?
Yes, I did. Yes, I
Okay.
did.
You're representing your USC today, your college.
Uh-oh. No, it's just a normal hat. Come on.
Just a normal hat. And then you went on to play for Raiders? And
Yes.
you won a championship with them?
Yes.
When did you start noticing you were having some memory loss issues?
Well, after football,
Were you hesitant about coming to a facility like Silverado at first?
Never.
Never.
Here, Silverado, take care of food, clothing, and shelter, and medical. And so far, so good.
I heard all kind of horror stories about what happens to people when they go into a home. So I started researching, and I went to 6 different places, and I walked in here and I thought it was utter chaos because there were dogs running around and it was just activities going on. I thought it was going to be people sleeping in the corner drooling. And I came in here and they were bowling over here and they had ping pong over here and the dogs are running around. And I just got a really good feeling, and they took me on a tour and it felt like a big house. I was like, wow, okay. So then I brought Mom back. She liked it, and then we brought my brother. And apparently he liked it, and he went on the tour, and he was real quiet, and it was like, he didn't run for the door, he wasn't afraid. So I was kind of surprised, and I think my mom and our feelings were a little hurt because he didn't look like he wanted to run out. He seemed like he was like, okay, this is pretty cool. And the Silverado team asked him, Glenn, what do you think? You think you might want to stay here? And he said, yeah, it's pretty cool.
We try to have an in-home care person at home with her, but as you can see, she's a very active woman. And it's a lot for one person, but I think this environment here is the best thing for her. To have, friends of all different ages here with her, and all of the staff who she feels is her coworkers, right? This doesn't feel like she's, trapped in some sort of old home, right? She always would say when we were younger, before she even knew she had a disease, that she didn't, she would never go live in a convalescent home or anything like that. And she always wanted to be self-dependent. And I think here they give her the freedom to feel like she is.
And then we honor the creator twice as much. So we're gonna go down and up.
Music is a big part of the residents' lives at Silverado. And when you combine music with some African dancing, residents are brought to their feet.
Up, 5, 6, 7, 8. We move. What's the last step? Like the water.
My grandmom had dementia before she passed, and
I just remember how everything at that point was just like, let's just enjoy. Because the grandmom that I grew up with was no longer there. But it was so important for us to just make memories for who she was at that time. So I think this is amazing, and it goes into your cell memory. So whether you remember a step or whether you can connect to what is this rhythm or whatever, it meets in a place that's beyond your limitation. And I think it's so important for us to not allow people's limitations to kind of discard them or make them ineligible to continue to live, because that's what it's really about.
About the African American community and memory loss.
Okay.
Do you think we talk about it enough? Do you think
No, we don't talk about it enough. We don't talk. I look at my Latino community was intertwined with the African American community. When their family members get older and hit either dementia, Parkinson's, whatever it is, they throw some carpet down in the garage and grandma's staying at home. They don't. It's not a part of their culture to put grandmother in a home. And with our family, it's and with that, what I see in the African American community, we don't really discuss mental illness. We're afraid of it because we don't know enough about it and we don't learn enough about it. There's not enough support groups and education about mental illness. And when I say mental illness, I'm not talking about someone who has schizophrenia. I mean something that happens, which is happening right now with the baby boomers. As we get older and this big group of baby boomers gets older, you have to deal with dementia, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, different things. Glenn's, however, was caused by trauma because of his playing football, hit his head. So we wouldn't even be having this discussion if he hadn't been injured. But for most people, it's part of their family history. But we don't talk enough about our family history with regards to illness or mental illness at all, so we can have some kind of base to go from. So it's a lot of fear and ignorance going on right there. So that's what I think we need to have more conversation, more support groups, and more education about mental illness as it relates to your family members getting older. Not necessarily from trauma, but just getting older, period, how to handle it, and when to know to let go. Very hard for us to let go. Nobody's gonna take care of him like I'm gonna take care of him, but I'm not a trained professional.
Now, what would happen if I was talking on the phone with my friends and you happened to walk by and I wasn't using proper English? What would you do?
And you weren't using
Proper English, yes. You always corrected us.
Wait a minute, you were using it.
Oh, yeah. No, I was not.
Well, I don't think I would. I don't know how I would feel, what I would do about it, because it's a big issue, but it's not something that I'd knock your brains out.
Oh.